In the fall of 2019, our little group of explorers decided to take on a new and different challenge. We take one trip per year, but most have been relatively local. This year we wanted a new challenge, so after a hectic build-out of Topher's 2006 4Runner, a late-night shakedown run, we embarked on a trip that would take us further from home and over more difficult terrain than we had previously taken on.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I would have had a little taller tire, but I think I'm at about
Yeah.
what I got.
You had about a hand width. Whenever you had it fully stuffed up in there. What'd you think? Good trip?
Yeah, it's good. It's fun.
I hate the fact that it's like 4 to 1 in the morning.
Right.
That's not fun. Oh well.
All part of the adventure.
Yeah, man. Get our stuff put up and hit the road.
1 week after our late-night adventure, we pointed the 4Runners north into Kentucky. Our goal was to take on the Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway and push our rigs on some new terrain. Most of our adventures to date have been on Forest Service roads. This time we wanted a little more of a challenge. We wouldn't have to wait long. A short ride down the first section, and we encountered the longest river crossing we had done.
Crossing Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway. It's all kicked up, so it looks like somebody has been through here recently. It has not been us.
The topography of the area in and around the Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway is different from the terrain that we have here in East Tennessee. While some of the higher peaks in the Great Smoky Mountains, which are visible from many of the crew's homes, are around 6,000 feet, research of the altitudes around the Red River Gorge area showed heights of around 1,200 feet. So, at least for this trip, we wouldn't be driving up onto mountain peaks, but instead we're driving down into and back out of a gorge. And it was beautiful.
Good flat spot up here for lunch. There he goes. Drag his bumper. Let's check this out.
As we began to ascend from the river, the terrain began to throw some challenges our way. This being Topher's second trip in his recently acquired and newly lifted 4Runner, we felt obligated to take our time, as his truck has no armor other than factory skid plates and plastic bumper covers. There's nothing like a slightly off-camber hill climb to get your adrenaline going.
He knows where his corners are. Is it? You need a spot? You need a spot? If she rolls off in the creek, we gotta ride home with you.
Where's it running?
That back tire was off the ground.
As we continued to put Topher's rig through its paces, it became more and more apparent how capable this brand of product is, meaning Toyota 4Runners, in mildly lifted form. His rig continued to impress at every turn and conquered every challenge we threw at it.
Yeah, buddy. Let's put Jolene to work.
A little further up the trail, and one of the gnarliest off-road challenges we had faced with these vehicles made itself known from around the bend. The fact that Topher is standing on one of the rocks should give you a sense of scale. This was going to be a rodeo.
You gonna got him or? Hang on just a second, Holmes. Hold what you got right there. There you go. So you need to go. Yep.
Straight forward.
Yep.
Yep, straight for now.
I have been wheeling with these guys for a long time. I know them both and trust them. They've never led me the wrong direction, and I'm blessed to count them as part of the crew.
There you go.
Right there?
Yep, keep on. There you go. You on it? There you go. Keep going a little bit right that way.
Stay to your right. There you go. There you go. There you go. All right, hold up, hold up. Go your left. Your left. That left, left, left. There you go. Your. Now you gotta come straight. Come.
One truck down, another to go.
Bump it.
He's probably.
This way. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Don't fall back, let's go. Good job, good job. Come on, come on, you're good. Come on up. Come on, you're good, you're good.
We're gonna make you look like a fool.
Hey, come on, I had to break it in for you. Right, come on. Your left.
Which side of that rock am I going on? Over or right?
I want your tire to be kind of up on it. So, back it up. Keep going, come on. Come on. Right, come on.
There you go, perfect.
Straight up. Driver. Straight. Straight ahead. Straight ahead. Faster. Go faster a little bit. Come on up.
Perfect.
All the way. Come on. Easy. Hold it right there. Straight ahead. Straight
Watch
ahead.
this back
Straight
tire.
up. Yep.
You want to stack a rock there?
Yeah, we gotta put some rocks that way, but keep you from hitting that.
Hitting that back bumper.
Keep it, protect that plastic bumper.
That was smooth riding right there, man. Good job. You work. Yeah, good point. A little bit of manual labor there.
Right, shoot ahead. Easy, easy. Creep it, creep it. Easy. Bump it up a little bit in front, you're on a rock. Make sure to get front. Go ahead. How's the back looking? Ben, you got it?
Yeah, it's good. He's clear.
Go on. Let's roll on another 10 miles.
That was awesome.
As we celebrated our victory, contemplation set in.
Might have been a turnaround spot.
What do you mean? You mean to tell me that if you had your truck here, you would not have taken your truck through that spot?
I think so.
That's
Yeah.
called wisdom. That's a very good call.
Thank you.
Good call.
At this
Good
point,
call.
yes.
Yeah.
I spent way too much money.
Yeah. All right, so where are we going?
I really wanted to. Where are we going?
Having completed a quarter of the route, we turned our attention to finding a place to sleep for the night. We did not realize, however, that we were about to come up against one of the largest draws to the area. The Red River Gorge has multiple recreational opportunities. Among them is the sport of rock climbing. October, also being known for Oktoberfest, and the cooler temperatures providing slightly better weather for climbing, merged together in the Red River Gorge for a festival known as Rocktoberfest, a combination of beer festival and rock climbing festival. Since we arrived in the area right in the window for this festival, we found all the campgrounds to be packed out. So, in true vagabond fashion, we paid a gentleman to be able to camp in his yard. The benefit to that was that we were able to have campfires in his yard, as there was a burn ban in the park itself. It turned out to be a win.
Brought back some sweet Teleco memories.
Yeah. Good to get out and have to spot.
After a dinner of cedar plank salmon, we sat around the fire and talked, relived some of the day's events, and caught up. It wasn't long before we settled into our tents to rest and prepare for whatever the next day might have in store. What are we doing today?
Finishing up the trail. Getting on the trail. See what we find. A little adventure today. In the rain. Should be more interesting today than it was yesterday.
Absolutely. I think we got maybe a quarter of it done yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like 110 miles, roughly. So we got Topher airing up tires. Got to stretch some winch line today. Breakfast is done. Tents are done. Fire's almost out. There's the house of the yard that we used to camp last night. The Boy Scouts showed up around, what time did they show up? Around 10 last night?
Yeah.
So, after dark, Boy Scouts came in and set up their camp in the dark, which is really kind of neat. They had a big tripod set up and big scene lights so they could sell our stuff up. I'm going to put a little air in the tires, run up around 30 psi, and roll out today. Topher, are you happy this morning?
So far.
So far? That works.
We haven't slid into any trees yet though.
Yeah, that's a good start. Wet weather might change things. The adventure continues. It wouldn't take long before we realized we had a problem. While preparing to take on the day, the battery light came on in the third generation 4Runner. A quick diagnostic check revealed that the alternator was not charging the vehicle's battery. Since the alternator was relatively new and under warranty, a quick search revealed that obtaining a replacement was going to take a while. It would be roughly an hour before we would arrive at the auto parts store. Honestly, it took us longer to get there than it did for Topher, a mechanic by trade, to swap it out. So after a quick parking lot sandwich, we loaded up to pick up the trail where we left off.
Special prayers of Thanksgiving and blessing for Chris. The man in his element right there. He does have a student driver tag on the back of his truck though. Right?
After returning from whence we came, by way of some epic Kentucky scenery, we laid into the primary obstacle of the rest of the trip. Mud. and lots of it. We spent the rest of the afternoon crossing through mud hole after mud hole, with the occasional creek crossing to liven things up. Driving in the valley bottom, it was clear this area sees a lot of mud.
If I could, I wouldn't do overheat everything. Getting mud at every hole, crevice, and rust. It's like, neat. Where did that come from? He's gonna get shocked.
Oh, maybe.
Oh no, he saw you, I think. He went off to the
He's
side.
watching me.
It's like we're rolling.
Chicken route. How much choice here? Got throttle bottom.
It's pretty simple.
We've said that before. You want to throw a little bit of a...
It's like a good camping spot.
Yeah. You can do just everything looking out that window. Because that's what you got it facing. You're looking right at yourself
Ah.
and out the window.
Fire me as the
Oh
cameraman.
my goodness. Which way does the lens go? This is a little...
Winding along the valley floor, we couldn't help but be amazed at how much there is to explore just a few hours from what is known.
We gotta go up this little waterfall.
We finished the route before setting up camp in another yard to prepare for the next day's drive home. Overall, there was a sense of accomplishment in being able to say that we had completed something so big, something as large as a 110-mile loop in Kentucky that we had never been on before. We had completed the Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway. As we sat around camp the next night, we thought about where we might want to go next, and we began to look south into Georgia.
How we doing?
Good morning.
Doing well now that the sun's out.
Yeah.
A little crisp this morning, but still
Hang on.
enjoyable.
Yep. Topher, you good?
All right. Strapping the cooler in for safety.
Yeah, of course. This is where we ended up spending the night last night at roadside gypsy base camp over under the hut over there. They sang karaoke till about 11 o'clock last night. So we're gonna pack up and roll out. Tents are broken. We packed up and planned to go on our way home back to Knoxville. But on the way there was one more trip we had to make. We hiked up to the natural arch and took some pictures before getting back in the trucks for the long drive home.
For the day.
We had our adrenaline filled, and we felt full of adventure and excitement about what might be coming.